Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm Corey, and this is Lunch Money Garage. Action! What's up, guys? It's been a while since you've seen me, I'm sure. Maybe 2 years since Fastest Car. I've done a ton of upgrades on Lunch Money since then. Pretty much everything from the seats forward, all new. I did new steering, I did new suspension, new transmission, new engine, new twin turbos. The transmission is a Pro Glide from ATI. The engine is a 6.4 liter RHS block twin turbo monster. It's gonna make over 1,000 wheel horsepower when it's all tuned up using HP tuners. It's got a Plasma Man billet LS3 intake. It's got Plasma Man billet custom Lunch Money engraved valve covers. It's got AFR 6-bolt LS3 cylinder heads and much more. Here's a few more things I did on the upgrades. I went with an aluminum rim over a steel heavy rim, and I wrapped a set of Mickey Thompson Sportsman steel belted radials on here instead of some bias ply trailer tires. So, big time upgrade. They actually balance out. Roll back with me a little bit. We painted it. As you can see, Battleship Gray. Color I've been wanting to do for a long time. And in the back, I went with a reverse scallop paint job and just a semi-gloss black, good old Rust-Oleum driveway paint job. If you were wondering how I'm going to make so much horsepower on a stock ECM, right here, HP Tuners. Huge support. Their software is amazing. It links up to tons of different stock ECUs, and that's what gives us the ability to put it on the dyno and make all the calibrations for all the different things we use. I mean, it is much easier than you think it would be. A huge thanks to HP Tuners for all their support, and I mean, without them, it wouldn't be possible to do what I do. So, thank you, HP Tuners. I want to thank CP Carrillo for those bitchin' rods and pistons that they set me up with. I want to thank Plasma Man for all the billet goodies and aluminum handiwork that you did. I want to thank AFR cylinder heads for these amazing aluminum cylinder heads. I want to thank Tom Nelson especially. Thank you, Tom. These turbos are amazing, and I mean, symmetrical, can't get any better than that. I want to thank GP Headers for hooking me up with a custom set of up forward facing turbo headers, stainless. I mean, double slip fit flanges, they're amazing. I want to thank Torco Oil for supplying me with all the lubricants to make this thing make the power and stay all in one piece. I want to thank Deechworks for the injectors. We ended up going with a 1200cc injector. They're E85 compatible, and we are definitely going to be able to make some power on them, and we're going to be able to do a 91 tune and an E85 tune, and I'll be able to switch back and forth from E85 to 91, whenever it's convenient for me. I want to thank Mickey Thompson Tires for supporting me and helping me out with tires. I run their ET slicks at the drag strip, and I run the Sportsman's when it's just a daily driver street car. Boxa Tools, thank you. Amazing products, Boxa Tools. Yeah, get them. They're great. I love using my Boxa Tools while I'm wrenching on my engine. And I also want to thank Kenny Powers and Twin Turbo Bobby for being the guys to help me do this whole YouTube adventure and everything. Eventually you're going to see Kenny Powers and Twin Turbo Bobby pop some wheelies in the future. When we're talking about taking this thing to the dyno next week and everything, let me show you a little example of what I'm thinking that it's going to make for like power and how it'll make the power and everything with the turbos and stuff. It should be a little better than the last engine. So when you start down here at, you know, like 100, you know, horsepower, and you really want to make it to up, so it's most likely, let me just show you, it's probably going to be more kind of like, actually, let's just cut to the dyno. Yeah, water and oil.
Condensation.
A lot of condensation. Like I can fill up water bottles if I can take a breather and put it in a water bottle. It'll mostly water.
So he's about the biggest anti-filler in the... I know, it's just, there's like...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Some goo. I thought there was a nail in it.
It looks shiny like metal.
You're the only Dodge hot rod.
I wonder how quick this thing's gonna get hot, being that there's no air on the radiator running on the dyno.
What do you think you're going to get to horsepower-wise with it being only at 1.5 pounds right now?
I don't know, there's so many things that are not all the way there. I mean, 60% throttle right now, so we're gonna try to figure out a way to open the throttle all the way. And I don't know. Ideally, it would be anything over 500 wheel right now. If we can get it to full throttle, would be what we want to see. Because we're thinking that the motor itself can make 500 wheels. So, all right, Tad, what are we doing here today?
Dyno and lunch money. First time, new combo.
Yeah. So what's our plan for today?
Don't break it.
Don't break it.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Yeah.
All right.
We want to see boost and a number.
All right.
And don't break it.
Don't break it.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm pretty pumped. I mean, how long's it been?
A while. It's been a year since I've been to the track, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
But
How about you go faster than you've ever gone with almost no boost?
yeah, I can feel the depths definitely in the car. So.
All right.
All right. Well, you heard it. We're gonna make some boost, but not break it. We want to see some boost, but not break it.
Holley Sniper EFI. You know what that's good for? Hold my laptop up.
Definitely.
Yeah, no problem. Looking good so far.
We're here at Irwindale. We just got here a few minutes ago. We just went through tech. Everything's good. We're ready to make the first passes on the new setup. Right now, I have 60% throttle and a couple pounds of boost. So we're just gonna see what it's gonna do and eventually we'll go back to the dyno and turn it up some more.
Change right there. What happened?
I screwed up and I hit the wrong button, which I shifted it into high, which took the trans brake off, and the car just broke the beams and I started going, and then all of a sudden boost hit and it just lit the tires up and just shot me over into the other lane. So
how's that pucker factor?
I didn't know what was going to happen. That's the first time I've ever experienced anything like that, so.
All right, pass 2, let's see what it is.
Yeah, better luck this time.
When it was going sideways, did that right wheel buckle on you? And then that's what took you straight into the wall? Or it looked like something malfunctioned? Yeah, because it looked like you had it for a second, you let off.
Nah, honestly, it broke loose, it started to slide like this, and I was like, I'm just gonna let it spin because I'll stay off the wall if it does. And as it started to do that, it went whoop, and then it drove straight towards the wall. And when I turned the steering wheel away from it, the truck went straight.
Yeah, the header's bent.
Oh yeah, so I'm saying do that right one.
Alright, so just got back from the track. Obviously had to get towed back. Unfortunate, but stuff happens. Second pass of the night. What were you feeling in there? What happened?
I don't know, it seemed like it was gonna be an okay pass. Like it seemed like everything was gonna work as long as I didn't have any bumps to trigger any, basically unload the suspension or load the suspension, which sends it into like a slow wobble feeling, like I was calling it like a bowl of jello. When I had done some test passes, you know, a couple days before going out to Irwindale, I thought that it was gonna be fine. You know, you think when you go to the track, there's no bumps at the track, so you're not gonna have to worry about that. But it just happened to launch the car and everything was fine. And about 60 feet out, roughly, there's a small bump in the track that's like a seam of some sort that right when I hit that, it loaded the front suspension and as soon as it loaded the front suspension, it bump steered the car. I want to say first it went to the right, and then it went left, and then I stabbed it a little bit to see if I can straighten it out, and when I did that, it just sent it into a more aggressive slide over the center line. And at that point I was thinking that since I was in the middle of the track and it was starting to do almost like a 180, that I would probably keep it off the wall. But unfortunately, when I crossed back over the groove, the car just went dead straight, and at that point I didn't have any time to correct it, slow it down, nothing. It just was basically set straight for the wall. So,
and something to note too is, I mean, we weren't even talking about that bump on the track after your first pass, which your first pass you ended up in the right lane as well, and we didn't even really notice that bump in the track until reviewing that GoPro windshield mount footage. And I know after you made the first pass, you were saying that you had, shifted too early, got into high, right? And that's kind of what we were thinking on the first pass, why you ended up in the other lane.
it seemed like it was just perfect timing, where on the first pass, I did my burnout, I pulled up, I staged the car, I lit the second bulb, I engaged the trans brake, I took my time, and by taking my time, and I actually took my thumb off the trans brake, when I took my thumb off the trans brake, when I reached back for the trans brake, I actually hit the shift button, which disengaged the trans brake, but shifted it into high gear, so I roll off the line super slow. And in my head, I'm thinking, why am I going? The trans brake is engaged. Am I pushing through it? I ended up hitting the trans brake anyways, thinking like, how am I going? The trans brake's going or whatever. So I'm in high gear, and I just assume, all right, let's not waste this pass. And so I just kind of give it some more throttle, and I think right about there is where it started to drive out, and I was starting to get a little boost at the same time and probably cross that dip and at the same time. And so it just all happened right at that spot where the car actually was starting to have some power. I hit the dip, and just in basically a split second, the car just stepped to the right and just went in the right lane. And from that point, I just coasted it all the way down. And I mean, I didn't think anything about the dip. I just thought I was in high gear, and the boost slowly ramped in, and it knocked the tire off, and the wheel speed was just like ridiculous, and it just made the car step. So
moving forward, there's lots of good stuff to come from it. As we mentioned already, the damage isn't too significant. You need headers on the driver's side. Said you just need the turbo housing on this side, but moving forward, you're going to end up with a whole new front end that's going to handle the power of this thing better, and new steering again. I mean, this is brand new steering setup, but it's not going to work with A-arms in the front, so I'm going to have to do some sort of a center-mounted, like a, what do they call that? It's center load rack and pinion, something like that. I mean, well, there it is, episode 1. Hope everybody liked it. Stay tuned for the rebuild of the front end, and hopefully LS Fest to follow.
Yep.
That's it.
We may suck at YouTubing, but like, subscribe, or I'll find you, and you know what I'll do.